What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Today we have a very first look, first impressions of the Kansept Colibri tech. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to have you here. And before you head out, hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate it, everyone. So we have the Colibri tech here, and Kansept is running a massive St. Patrick's Day sale, which this knife falls under, amongst a bunch of other knives, along with other gear. I will have it linked down in the description. If you want, you can head over there and check out what all they have to offer, what knives and gear. This knife will be on that list, and it comes in a variety of different versions as well. This was the one that really caught my eye, though, guys. The stonewash blade with this aquatic green blue. The milling that they do on this is just outstanding looking. It feels good in hand. It's grippy. I love it. And they did it on both sides. This is just a great looking knife in my opinion, and it is also a pocket sword. Definitely not going to be for everyone just due to its size. It is coming in right about 10 inches. I think it's about 9 7/8 inches, so damn near 10 inches long, which that makes for a very big folding knife. But if you like bigger knives or you have massive hands, this is going to fit you very well. I have pretty good sized hands, and look how much handle is poking out there. So definitely a big boy. We have a stonewash tumble sheep's foot blade with a nice little swedge going to that tip, going to give you some added strength out there. We do have S35 VN, which Kansept does very well. We have dual thumb studs, front flipper and rear flipper, all for your deployment fun, and I would say they all work pretty well. Definitely tuned for the studs, and then the front and rear flipper both work very well. Could the detent be a little stronger? I don't think it could be, because if it was any stronger, I think you would have an issue getting this out with the studs or the front flipper, so they kind of have to draw a line if they make it too strong, to really combat for the rear flipper. Then you are going to limit it with the studs and the front flipper. So they had to find a happy medium, and I think they did it pretty well. About as good as you could do all these deployment methods with such a long, heavy blade. Definitely I prefer the studs for this thing, but with that being said, the front flipper works very well, and so does the rear flipper. So it's going to be what you prefer, or depending on how you feel that day, you can kind of just pick your poison. Came nicely centered, guys. We have some brass gold accents here with the pivot, the studs, and the rest of the body screws. Now we do have a matching milled titanium clip here that goes along with these scales, and then we have some cool contrast, which I don't know if that was meant for St. Patrick's Day or if that just kind of happened by accident, but we do have some darker green standoffs here. Gives it a little contrast in comparison to the scales here. Now this is going to act just like any other standard milled titanium clip. The cool thing about this one is it does have hidden screws, so it is done through the scale into the clip, so that way you do not see any clip screws. It does keep it and make it look a little bit cleaner. Going to carry decent for a milled clip. You always have a little bit poking out with a milled clip like this, but the retention's good and it's very easy to get in and out of pocket. Let's go ahead and we will see what kind of edge came on this guy. So we do have a very, very thin piece of phone book paper here. And typically the Kansepts that I have had in over the last year or so have all been very well finished, guys. From tip to butt, Kansept has been knocking it out of the park. They've done some very solid in-house designs and then some very, very solid OEM work. They are really climbing the mountain when it comes to knife production. And I mean, just look at this thing. What a beautiful looking knife and design here. Why don't we go ahead and we'll see what happens up against some cardboard here. And the awesome thing about this knife is there is so much edge there that you should not have any issues staying in your cut. Just so much blade, and that has a nice edge on it. It's just going through this cardboard like butter. The sharpening choil, it's not bad. Not bad at all. You're going to get a decent amount of sharpening life out of this guy. And I believe you can, yeah, you should be able to notch your own in if it got that far. But with that much blade length there, you should be able to have a decent amount of edge life on this guy. Plus get a couple sharpenings in and not have much of an issue. This is definitely a unique knife in my opinion. I was trying to rack my brain, and which can be hard sometimes, but I don't really know of anything that quite looks like this guy. It's just a very unique looking design. I can't remember. It's a K Maxrom design, and I'm not familiar with that designer. I don't know if that's a newer designer or if I just, I don't know, but it's a Maxrom design, and I can't remember his first name. I did know it at one point, but I like his design language. Kind of reminds me of what's his name? It kind of reminds me of, now I can't think of it. He did the Clairvoyant, and what else did he do? I think he did Munko. Paul Munko. That's kind of what this reminds me of, as far as design language. Not quite the same lines, maybe, and it's maybe because the blade shape is somewhat similar to the Kaiser Clairvoyant, but I like that design language. I like this style of sheep's foot. You still have a decent pokey tip there. And then I just like this long, slow belly roll to the tip there because although not perfectly straight, it still has a ton of function and utility to it. And then, depending on your hand size, even with a little bit bigger hands, I cannot make it to that slant there, staying behind the flipper tab. Now, if you were to kind of do the pinch grip, of course, then you can get up there on that slant. So definitely something to keep in mind. If you're looking for a big, hefty folder that's a sheep's foot, this is definitely going to be one to take a look at. And I have to say, it is a very pleasing design. And it's nice and thin through here. And look at the blade stock on this guy. That thing is not joking around. Why don't we go ahead and see what kind of actual blade stock this thing has? Because I'm interested now. We'll pick right there. And she's coming in about 137, 138. So could be maybe closer to 140. So definitely not going to be, this is not built to be, a slicer. You can tell that right away by the blade stock. This is going to be more like a heavy use type knife or a little bit harder of a use. Basically, it's not going to be, a utility style knife. TRM Atom, TRM Neutron, real thin, real skinny knives. That's not what this is. And you can tell that right away just by the blade stock. This is meant to kind of be a workhorse, an oversized workhorse. And I think it does a good job at that. And then the other awesome feature is there is tons of different positions that you can really grab this handle and use this thing, you know, whether it be for day-to-day tasks. I think this would also be just fine in like a kitchen roll, just because of how big this is, and then the belly kind of drops here. So I think it would be good at quite a bit of different tasks, you know, depending on, you know, what you're looking for and what you do on a day-to-day basis. This might be a solid choice for you. But I know right away when I saw this knife on Kansept's website, I just had to try and get one of these on the channel to take a look at. Just an extremely intriguing design. And like I said earlier, Kansept has just been knocking every single thing that I've checked out. Even the fixed blade, the Corvid fixed blade, that is an awesome utility style fixed blade that has found its way into going to work with me quite a bit. We also have another Kansept, or a couple Kansepts actually, to take a look at here in the coming days. Another one that I am extremely excited about checking out. So Kansept is rocking and rolling at this point, and I'm excited to see it, because when they're pumping out designs like this and builds like this, it's just all the better for us guys, because the more competition and the better the competition, it just breeds better and better knives, better and better prices. It's just better for everyone, more options. And if you're wondering, this thing has an extremely nice closing action. It's even as heavy and as long as that blade is, this thing will drop to your thumb, and then just nice and controlled, nice and slow. Just a, so good. I don't know how they were able to pull that off with such a long, heavy blade, but whatever they're doing, it is working very well. 9 out of 10 knives would just fall completely shut like a guillotine. This has just a nice controlled close. Love to see it. Very, very solid design. The Colibri tech. You guys will have to let me know what you think of this guy down in the comment section. Love hearing from you guys. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because I would love to have you here. And make sure you hit that thumbs up button. The more interaction on the channel, guys, the better off the videos do, and the more I appreciate it, of course. That'll wrap this one up. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an awesome day. I will catch you on the next one.